Hey guys, I'm Brian. This is the disclaimer portion of this video. My videos usually don't come with disclaimers, but today's disclaimer is I am not a CFI, I'm not a role model, I'm not your mentor, I'm not someone you should emulate. The particular flight I took today required a lot of preparation and coaching from people who know how to do what I was about to do. We are talking about Leadville, Colorado, the airport at the highest elevation in North America, 9,934 feet. It's kind of a bucket list item for a lot of pilots. We were in Colorado, and when I realized how close a proximity we're to the airport, it quickly became a bucket list item for me. So density altitude on this particular flight was somewhere around 11,500 feet. So on the ground, your plane behaves as though it's at 11,500 feet. So think about that before you hop in your 172 and go, hey, I saw Brian do this, I'm gonna go fly to Leadville. I had my wife with me on this flight, and we got some coaching and made sure we had a plan A, a plan B, a plan C at any point if something were to be unexpected and get too uncomfortable. So with that out of the way, let's go to Leadville. All right, we are in Rocky Mountain Airport, west of Denver. We are going to Leadville, the highest airport in the United States. We're going to try to land up there and get our certificate. I've got oxygen in case we need it. Someone did report turbulence at between 11,000 and 15,000 feet, so make it bumpy. But it should be pretty. If it gets too bumpy and you don't like it, we'll just turn around and go home. We got plenty of fuel. But
I can handle it.
okay.
Command G7402 Pomp, for now, fly straight out of 7,000, southwest approved, runway 30 right, clear for takeoff, wind 1404.
Fuel pumps on, mixture is not rich because I don't want it rich. Flaps look good, prop is forward, trim is set. Alright, this should be interesting. Our ground speed should be pretty high before our airspeed says it's time to take off. Alright, go line up. Full power. Nails are on the floor. There's 50. Alright. 70. Yeah, at home we would have been off by now. Come on, there she goes.
Tower, set that up to 3, visual 30.
Another rate of climb, tap the brakes, gear coming up.
Exit 703 Metro Tower, thank you, sir. Traffic on a 3-mile final for the parallel runways can be assessed now. Runway 30 right, clear to land, wind calm. Command G02 Pop, you can set that southwest now, thanks.
All right, turn to southwest now. Have a good day. 7420, bye-bye. We departed Rocky Mountain and made our way to Leadville following a pre-planned route that I worked up in coordination with members of the Colorado Pilots Association. The plan was to head south and climb to 12,500, which would keep me well above the terrain below. This was the highest point that we overflew. The plan was to overfly valleys, roads, and flat land as much as possible. The sectional has these little symbols that indicate mountain passes, which is very helpful. Additionally, there's AWAS stations in the valleys and on the mountain peaks, so you have continuous weather information. On this particular flight, the winds were right down the valley. You couldn't ask for a better scenario. If they were coming over the ridges, we likely would have had a lot more turbulence, but this was a pretty smooth flight. The regs state that if you're going to be at 12,500 for 30 minutes or more, you need to have supplemental oxygen available. We weren't that high for 30 minutes, however, we had pulse oximeters on board, and when we tested ourselves, our numbers were in the mid-80s. My rule of thumb is anything below 90 and you add oxygen. Crazy, a couple of breaths and it goes from the low 80s to the mid-90s.
Yeah.
We're about to descend into Leadville, and by descend I mean go from 12,000 to 10,000. I'm gonna turn the oxygen off.
Okay.
They want a little bit getting out of here.
Lake County Airport. Automated weather observation 1520 Zulu. Wind 170 at 08. Peak gusts 15. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 10 Celsius. Dew point -05 Celsius. Altimeter 3010. Remarks. Density altitude 11,500.
believe the runway is that flat area right there.
Okay.
Oh, I've got the airport in sight. That's it. Not that it matters, but I think once we get below the valley, it's going to get pretty rocky, and then taking off is going to be pretty rocky. But the rest of it, I think, is all right. This isn't it. Oh my God!
Oh.
This body of water is so pretty.
Yeah.
All right, fuel pumps on, landing gears down, mixtures where I want it. Prop is going forward. Leadville traffic, Comanche 20 Papa's turn right base 16 full stop. Leadville.
Leadville traffic, Army 507, flight of 4 Apache helicopters 5 miles to the south over Highway 24. Train flight altitudes will be transitioning south and north in the Tennessee Valley, approximately 10,200 feet. Leadville.
All right, second notch from us. Leadville traffic, Comanche 7420 Papa's turning final 16 full stop. Leadville. Landing gears down, fuel pumps on. Everything else is. Runways made, last minute flights. How long that runway is?
Yeah, did it.
Oh, it is an incredibly beautiful weather. That was, I'm not gonna lie, I was 25% like a little nervous. I just kept waiting for just turbulence, like shock. Alright, Leadville Tower, rapid, Comanche 7420 Papa's contact taxi 16.
All right, we made it to Leadville Airport. This is kind of a bucket list item. And there's Aaron. It wasn't on your bucket list, but you can add it and cross it off. My understanding is if you land here, you get a certificate. So let's go find out. So we landed and we got our certificate. The next thing was to take back off and head home. And that was the part that was going to be the most interesting.
Alright, we are leaving the ramp at Leadville. We're going to back taxi 16. For probably, maybe not the first time, but very rarely do I lean for takeoff, but 10,000 foot elevation, we're going to lean before we take off. I imagine this will be the longest takeoff run I've ever made, too. Leadville traffic, Comanche 7420 Papa's entering runway 16, will be departing to the south, Leadville. There's a big long runway ahead of us. Alright, here we go, full power. 19 inches of manifold pressure. Landing gear coming up. That is the most lethargic takeoff I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was getting nervous.
So that was Leadville. After we took off, everything was pretty normal. The terrain out there actually slopes down leading away from the airport, and it's in a really big wide valley. So it was very pretty, but nothing too exciting. Taking off was a little bit different. It was a lot different than normal. You kind of got to do things in slow motion, and I'll try to make that make sense. Normally when my plane takes off, there's a couple seconds there where it's close to ready to fly, but not exactly ready, and it gets a little light and starts to dance. Well, you're accelerating at a much slower rate. And so for me, I noticed that little squirrely stuff lasted, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 seconds instead of just a few. And so it's like, okay, the transition is slower, and then your rotation is slower. The book said that I should be able to climb out from that airport between 400 and 600 feet per minute. I wasn't really feeling that. I could see my airspeed was coming up so slow that for me it was like, let's just get off the ground, let's get the gear up and drag removed and get a little bit of speed. And then once we were, flying out of ground effect, everything was just fine. We climbed up to 13.5 and flew back to Texas with no issue. So it was a really cool flight. I don't encourage anyone to go out and do it. I encourage people to go out and learn about it and figure out if it's something they're interested in doing. Had I done that day in my Grumman, I would have been able to get in, but I wouldn't have been able to get out. We would have had to wait until overnight until it was cooler out because we were above the service ceiling of the Traveler. So things to think about. That's all I got. It was really cool. It was a bucket list item. I'm glad we did it. It was neat to have a new type of flying experience. The entire Colorado flight, I'm going to do a video about in my Race to 1500 series. But this particular piece I wanted to kind of isolate and make a video about. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you to all the Patreon supporters who support the channel. Thanks to everyone who shares and likes and subscribe. Thank you to Gold Seal. If you see this stuff and you want to do this, if you want to be a pilot, the first step, click the link in the description and you can go take a free lesson at Gold Seal. The first one's free. After that, you'll be broke for the rest of your life. Flying's expensive. There's no two ways about it. But it's worth every penny. So if you're interested in learning to fly, do stuff like this, have these kind of fun. It's not easy and it's not cheap. But once you get started, I think you'll find that it's pretty motivating to keep going. And I've been at this for 11 years. And I love every minute of it. So if it's something you're interested in doing, click the link. Other than that, you guys fly smart. I'll catch you in the next one. Click this link to see the most recent video upload. Click this link to see a video that YouTube thinks you might like. Click this link to subscribe to my channel.